Untitled Agents Podcast.
If you are not shooting videos every single day, maybe multiple times a day, you are quickly going to get behind in the real estate world. And that might sound daunting, but let me tell you why it's not, and why this guest today is going to help you understand why it's not. Because you only need to be sending communication, video communication between you and your customer, one-to-one. That is what we're talking about here. And if you want to do more than that, then you're just going to overachieve. But our guest today, Darren Dawson, the president and co-founder of BombBomb. I think everybody knows the platform. And if you know me, you know I talk about it a lot because we love it, we use it, we live it, we breathe it. And I'm excited to talk to Darren today to get more of you understanding the importance of using this in your business. Welcome to the show, Darren.
Thanks, Jeff. Thanks for being such an advocate for so long. Thanks for leading the way.
Yes.
You're an exemplar for many, and I appreciate it, man. Sincerely do.
Absolutely, man. We'll talk offline about getting me on payroll, but that'll be another conversation.
That's done. Let me know.
Well, so I tell you what, Darren, so I've talked to, Ethan and Steve are great friends of Lab Coat Agents. I've interviewed Alicia multiple times. I've interviewed Matt on video shows multiple times. And so I've never talked to you, which is blows my mind. It's crazy. So
those people are far smarter and better than me, by the way. So you've already had the best. I'm the cleanup. I mean, I'm like the bottom of the barrel.
So this is where my first question comes. So you say they're the smarter ones, but you were behind this product. And so I want to know, like, where does this come from? How was this conceived and when was it conceived? What brought you into this?
So me and my best buddy, Connor, we were from the same hometown in Jackson, Michigan. Didn't know each other growing up, met out here in Colorado. I've been here since 95. We probably met in, I don't know, 98 or something like that. And, we're both in sales and marketing. I got into marketing, online marketing kind of early, maybe in like 2002. That's early. I was working at a marketing agency and he was working for Lamar Outdoor. We ran sales and marketing teams, and he really came up with this idea. Is like, wouldn't it be great if we could send videos instead of emails because we're better in person? Mm-hmm. I'm like, yeah, that's a great idea. And that was like literally just hanging out. We used to do this all the time. We'd ran a painting and maintenance and construction business together. We gotten rid of that. And then we gotten into this. I went to work for this online marketing company, which is crazy then. And they were doing stuff like pay-per-click and SEO and that's email marketing. That was brand new stuff. And I wanted to learn it. And so I think I was getting paid $2,000 a month because I wanted to learn it. I just wanted to understand it. I was always a good salesperson. So that just led into these different roles. And so, but I think at the time when we actually got the idea for BombBomb, I was leading the sales effort for online sales at a TV station, a small NBC affiliate, and Ethan Butte. So I was the online director, and Ethan Butte was the production guy. Like basically he made commercials for the station that were like, stay tuned at 10 o'clock tonight because the weather may kill you, but you got to stay tuned and watch our news episode at 10 to find out if it will or not. Right. So Ethan was that guy. So we're both on the leadership team, and Connor was working at the billboard company. And so we were just talking about better ways to be better at sales. And he was like, we should send videos. I'm like, that's great. And back then in those early days, you collected URLs. I don't know if you did this. Like, I used to own a bunch of different URLs. I thought one day it'd make me a multi-billionaire or something. And so one that he had bought was BombBomb. And he cobbled together, Connor did, we bought a server and we stuck it in his closet. Dude, this is in 2005, 2006. There was no YouTube. The iPhone Gen 1 didn't have a camera in it. And we're like, we're going to do video email. And so we shove a server in his closet and host this one video on it. It's all the only thing on the server is a video that he made. It was like, hi, I'm Connor McCluskey. If I can help you, contact me in my personal line. And he pointed down to his email signature. And it was just like, it was still like a GIF and you had to click. It was very clunky. He sent that to about 100 people just on like Outlook. And everybody, they didn't care what Connor was selling, but everybody wanted that. Everybody was like, that's nuts. How'd you do that? It's crazy. I want that. So he comes flying in. I had just gotten married, I think, and my wife still talks about how Connor unannounced open, because we were buddies. So he was used to just coming to my place. He just opened up the door and come flying in like, I got it. But this is the one, like, this is the idea that's really going to be the big thing. And he's super pumped. And so long story short, we got a bunch of buddies that put some cash together and we started BombBomb. And he goes, we can use the BombBomb URL for this one. He's so pumped. And I'm like, okay, I'm totally in. You're right. This is nuts. Let's do this. So then but we knew nothing about building software. This was 2006. It's not like now. It's like every other time. Everyone has a side hustle with a software company, right?
Sure.
But it wasn't like that then. No, we didn't know about that stuff. And we partnered up with a third co-founder, Kevin Dibble, who's still a dear friend. He used to run the business with us day to day, but he ran software companies. That's what he did. He had exited already from a large company. And so he helped us build fundamentally our first developers and stuff. And Patrick McDavid, who's now our CTO, has been with me for over 10 years, 11 years. He's still with us. He was the first software hire that we ever made.
Wow. So first of all, I'm surprised your wife did not kick him out.
She's so used to it. Yeah. Connor was I had to tell her, Connor's my first marriage, babe. Like, he's the first one. He kind of comes with the deal and vice versa.
I love it. Okay. So then what was so first of all, brilliance on Connor's part in this case. And because that's so far ahead of your time, by the way, that's before the crash. So then you had to like try to develop and build something through a crash. Right.
Yeah.
But when it comes to just let's go back to the name. BombBomb. So right. I get it. Like you guys were just buying domains. Like I remember that was a thing at one time. Yeah. What was the connection to the correlation? BombBomb video email?
Zero, none. Like there's the fun story and there's the story we tell people and the true story. And I will tell you both, since it's lab coat, where this is home to us. Mm-hmm. We cracked our code with real estate. We love you all that you're listening. You're dear friends. Many of you are dear friends of ours. I count you as dear friends. I have more friends on the real estate road show than I have here in Colorado where I live. But so the real story, the story we tell people is it's based on, you're the bomb, be the bomb. But Connor was dating a young woman and then she told him, Connor, you're the bomb.com. And he instantly goes, oh God, okay, I need to go buy bomb.com. Well, bomb.com was taken. So he buys bomb.com and he's bragging to me, dude, I got the best one. Like, it's like collecting football cards.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I got a really good one. It's BombBomb. I'm like, oh, that's really good. So, he was so pumped. We'll use the BombBomb one for this. And it still works. And people, if you don't know what BombBomb is, they want to know, like, what is this? Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's still, cause I never really thought about it until you said it. And then you really think about it. And it's like, I have no idea how that connects, but now it makes sense.
We were trying to find a name that would be catchy, that people would be interested in what it was, because even then we're still early, man. Like how many years have you heard? I said it today, Connor and I were joking, or it was Steve and I today joking. Maybe this is the year of video. Cause back in 2006, when we went to our first real estate show, we were told this is the year of video. You guys hit this at the right time. We're like, sweet, Lo and behold, that was not true. And I think every year it's gotten better and better. And I think, we're still hopeful that someday it will be the year truly of video.
Well, based on what you just said, because I've been saying that now. I started doing video at a high level in 2016. So I'm an old gray hair in terms of video, in terms of business. And funny story, before I get to my next point, was I actually used to shoot videos. And this is before BombBomb. So when BombBomb came out, I just was like praying, thank you to the gods. But I would shoot video, upload to YouTube, snip picture video, put picture in email, embed a link. And it was time consuming. And I was like, this is terrible, but this is so necessary. Right. And so when BombBomb, of course, I'm one of those guys that actually did that.
We used to have that printed up. We used to have that printed up, that process.
Yes.
This is what it takes to do this. Or
Yeah. You could do
like
this.
1, 2,
Yeah.
3. Yeah.
Yeah. I actually remember I think I still have that saved on my computer where I sent a sheet that explained to my loan officers, here's how you put a video in your email. That is too funny. So I got to stop digressing because we could probably do this the whole conversation. Right. But when it comes to the year of video, and you're right, like, man, we've been saying this for so many years. And at the last BombBomb conference, it was 2019, I think, May of 2019. And we were talking about it, and it's like everybody's saying, you got to start doing video. Video is the future. And I'm like, that's one thing I'm tired of hearing. Video is not the future. Video is already here. Like, and there's a direct correlation to the people that are using video at a high level and their production levels. Now, Darren, I'm not one of the guys who says you have to do video or you're dead, because I don't agree with that. There are other ways to do it. But if you like cold calling and door knocking and all of the traditional, lead,
you should do that. Yeah.
Yes, then fine. But if you want to actually attract and you want to, use different means of marketing that will actually grow your business, you have to do video. And I told Darren before we started, my number one loan officer, our best guy, uses BombBomb almost exclusively when he's sending emails. And I tell my loan officers, there's a direct correlation to why Jason's number one and his BombBomb use. And so let's talk just about the general concept behind it and why, the psychology behind it and why it works. Because, and I will say this, and I want you to answer that first question first, but then also talk about how we have evolved. And where I hear people say, because now they've become used to receiving videos. So when Connor sent that first one, he had 100% open rate. Nowadays, it gets harder, right? Mm-hmm. But I would still argue that your typed email is going to be even still less received than your video email. So first of all, talk about the psychology behind just using video as your one-to-one communication tool in your business.
Yeah. For me, I think the reason why real estate adopted early, it's the early adopter. And I mean, loan officers like yourself, real estate professionals, a title, financial planners were a big and still are. I think the reason they showed up early and are consistently a big part of our ecosystem is because y'all rely on repeat and referral business, and relationships are core to your success, right? And the way that human beings build relationships is face-to-face. It is. And so it's who you are as a person, how you communicate. People like you. Usually if you're in this industry, you're likable. If you're not, you don't do very well. You're a salesperson at heart, but you sell through passion and enthusiasm, and then also explaining a complex thing like a loan process. If I'm buying a house, or if I'm refining, or if I'm building a home, those are all different programs with complexities that go into them that I don't understand as a consumer on a regular basis. Same thing with if I'm going to buy a house and I need to hire someone to help me navigate the inspection, all these things. These are complex things. If I'm investing, what should I invest in? How much liability insurance do I need? That's an insurance professional or a financial advisor. All these people are necessary in the transaction. They walk you through a complex problem, and then, trust is necessary in all those things as well. Humans build trust by interaction with other humans. They build know, like, and trust by seeing your eyes, seeing my hands. There's a study that was like in the old days, right? In caveman days, if you didn't see my hands, I could hold a weapon. I'm not trustworthy. And these things all still exist in our subconscious, that you right now are summing up everything that I'm doing, my tone, how I am holding myself. All of this feeds back to your brain about, can I trust this person? Do I think they're full of crap? All of these things. And these things are so necessary in your line of work. Okay. So that's really some of that psychology. If you're going to build a relationship, would you rather do that over text email? Would you rather do that over the phone, or would you rather do that in person? I would argue that text, email, and phone are all about getting in person eventually. Okay. And then now we went through this pandemic problem where you couldn't be face-to-face. And we saw a huge uptick in usage there because they were forced to. So, it used to be, back when we began, it was new. And that video was all about, had to be perfect, had to be produced. We were compared to the 10 o'clock news, right? Where Ethan and I came from. It's not polished enough. It doesn't represent my brand enough. And we sometimes still hear that. Now the paradigm has shifted, and I'm kind of getting to the reason why people don't do this still. Cause we can be like, we're fundamentalists. You and I say it to Ethan all the time. We're fundamentalists. Like, we're true believers. We can't even conceive why you wouldn't do this. But I think there's some reasons why people don't. And I always like to unpack that, because to help them overcome that. I think some of the reasons are: one, it's not polished enough, not perfect enough. I'm trying to position myself. And now you would think people would say to us, well, gosh, now with everyone using video and everyone being on social media and everything, that should change. Well, the change actually, now there's filters for that, right? Now your face doesn't look good enough. So we want you to smooth it. And we want you to do all these things. And we're still trying to send this message. Humans got to stop saying the message that you got to be perfect to show up.
Yeah.
That this has got to freaking end, man. Like, and it might not, and you might be listening to me now being like, that's wrong. Like, my brand's really important. No, I'm not saying that, but how you show up as a human being is why people buy your service in this industry. It's in real estate, in the ones that we've talked about. That's why they buy your service, because how you show up and how you show up professionally. Like, you look great. They buy you, they trust you with this. Lean into that and stop worrying so much about how you look and how you sound. So right now, how you hear me is different than how I hear me in my head, right? Like, and so when we first hear ourselves on video, we go, oh, I don't like that. Your brain actually says, it doesn't sound right. I don't like how I look. I don't like how I sound. It's because we only look at ourselves in the mirror typically when we're brushing our teeth in the morning. This is a new experience for us. So I think understanding that, acknowledging that, kind of owning that, and then being able to step into activities that you're doing today that you could replace with video to make a difference in your business. And I think that's what you're doing. That's what your number one loan officer is doing all the time, right? You're replacing activities that you once did either through text or phone, and you're putting that, or door knocking, like you said. Whole point of door knocking is getting your face in front of that person and building that relationship. Virtual door knocking, I remember with the Buffini organization, like, those are great friends of ours now. And we talked about, they call it pop by, right?
Yeah.
Virtual pop buys, virtual door knocking. You can cover a lot more doors from here on my time, when I have time to do it, than I can going to that neighborhood and door knocking that way.
Yeah. Yeah.
I covered a lot of ground there. I know.
No, it was good. And actually, and I do want to go back to something, but what you just mentioned, we talk about parasocial relationships all the time, and understanding that, when you and I, Darren, I don't know, we're probably a similar age, but when we grew up, a parasocial relationship was what we know it as. Like, I was in my mind, I was best friends with Maverick and Goose and Top Gun, but I really, they don't know who the hell I am. And that's exactly the opportunity that we in the real estate world have today, is to build a parasocial relationship because of what we can do through video. And it starts on those emails. And so going back to what you'd said about, I'm not polished and I don't like how I look and I don't like how I sound. One of the things I always will tell people when they tell me that, because I hear that a lot too, is, are you afraid to meet that same client at the office and have a conversation with them? Well, no, I mean, that's just natural, right? That's what we do. If you're not afraid to meet them in person, which is arguably more daunting than doing it through a screen, why can't you dress yourself the same way you would dress going to the office, say the same things you would say sitting across from the table from them, and look the same way? I mean, you say you're not polished enough in front of the camera. Are you polished? So then that means you're not polished enough to do it face to face, in my opinion.
I agree.
And that's where I think that's the mindset set shift for anybody listening who says, I'm not polished, I don't look good enough, I don't sound good enough. Bullshit. You're doing it in person.
That's right.
Do it via the camera. I don't know. What do you have to say? What are your thoughts just on that?
It's like anything, man. Like, the best analogy is, it's not always a good one for a business person, but it's like a gym membership. You have got to exercise if you want to lose weight. So that means if you spend the money we get this all the time. Right now, it's January and February. We're much like a gym membership. I was telling you before we got on that here they come. A bunch of people who used to have BombBomb are signing up again. Okay. Meaning, like, resubscriptions are always a big theme in January and February, which I assume is the same way at the Gold's Gym or the Planet Fitness down the street. They know it's good for them. You know, if you're listening, that this is a good thing, but you think it won't work for you, or it's hard to be consistent in business. I get that. So I think it's more like planning to be consistent and having a plan about what activities am I going to do with this, in this way. And I think it's interesting you touched on that we started in 2006, which was like this crazy meltdown, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we did really well in 2017. We grew drastically in those years. Up until 2012 is when we really hit a stride. But I think the reason why is because, and right now it's contracted, right? There's not much inventory, refis are slowing down, things are changing. But what you need to lean into more than ever, I believe, and tell me what you think in 2022, is your past clients, your repeat and referral business, the relationships you have. So how do you, leverage or scale yourself time-wise? So I knew just back in 2006, Connor and I knew that if we could scale our face-to-face time, we would make more money. That was the whole reason BombBomb started, that if we could send these personal videos and talk about what we wanted them to consider purchasing from us, that we would make more money. Because our problem was how many appointments I could do. Yeah. My income was limited on the scale of how many appointments I could have. BombBomb allows you to scale face-to-face interactions with the people who you get business from. Yeah. Your realtor network, if you're a loan officer, it's your peer network, it's your sphere of influence, your past clients, it's their friends. This is what we need to get back to doing better in a tight market, right? And so while we grew in 2006, I think that's why. And I think now we're seeing people flood back. One, because it's the beginning of the year, but also because we're in a tighter market. In a tighter market, you've got to do things that stand out from the crowd and be different than everybody else. Because in the consumer's mindset, you're all the same. You all do this thing. And so how are you different? One, your face is different. That's where we can begin. But if you had the opportunity to be face-to-face with them, you'd be able to explain to them, well, you better be able to do this, why you're different and why they should choose you. You need to start doing that on video. And it's simple. Sometimes it's as simple as just reaching out and saying, hey, Darren, hope you and Angie are doing great. How's the house? How's the kids? It's been a while since we connected, but just want to say I was thinking about you. I hope you're off to a great start this year. Oh, by the way, if you had any thoughts of selling going into 2022, or do you know anybody that would love to help them out. Take care. Hope to see you soon.
Yeah.
Check in on those people. You're going to find deals. We've challenged people on this a ton, Jeff. Like, do that 2 days a week for 20 minutes a day to a predefined list of people and see how many referrals you get.
Yeah.
It works.
I love that. And the part of so we talk about social media a lot, and how, versus using like a Facebook group as your CRM versus a traditional CRM, where you're really meeting the consumer, your past customer, where they don't want to be met. They didn't ask to be put into your CRM and for you to send them 10 tips to get your house ready to sell in the spring, or turn that clock back. They didn't ask for that. But if you invited them into a group where you're just sharing valuable, interesting, or just fun stuff that creates engagement, they chose to accept the invite. They chose to open the app every day, right? And so my correlation there is this: a lot of agents will argue that, all right, Darren, that makes sense. You're right. I do need to do these quote unquote pop buys, and I need to be touching and reaching out to them, but I should call them. That's what I should do, Darren. I should call them. And I'm going to argue with most people that say that, and say that as the generations continue to evolve, a phone call is almost like spam anymore. And I get it. If you're 40, 50, 60 plus, you don't look at it that way, but everybody younger than us, and I actually am one of them, look at it as a nuisance. I don't even like answering my phone anymore. And I don't answer it at all.
Yeah, exactly. Unless you're
in my phone, I'm the same way. Yes.
And then I'm looking going, yeah, I can't take that right now.
Yes.
Look, Ed Bear's my realtor. He is in this phone, but I can't.
Yeah.
I can't take it. I can't take that call. Okay.
Sure.
I'm a good customer for most of your listeners. I am. I like to buy houses. I like to do that stuff, but I can't take Ed's call. So when Ed though sends me a video, hey, what's up, man? How's it going? Hope you're well. Like, hey, let me know what you're thinking about 20. And we talked about a bunch like that. Yeah, I'm going to respond to that on my time.
Yeah.
Ed sent that to me on his.
Yeah.
And that's classic. Seth Godin calls this interruption marketing. Connor and I were massive Seth Godin days like back then in the day, like that's all we read.
Yeah.
And so this was this idea that I can also send this message when I have time to send it, and they can watch it when they have time to watch it. All we were doing as sales reps was interrupting people in the middle of whatever they were doing, trying to tell them to do what I wanted them to do.
Mm-hmm.
And now with this thing, I don't have an office phone. This is it. Yeah. So either you're getting me through email, LinkedIn, this, or social. Like I love the social. Like if people aren't engaging there, pop open Messenger, send a DM, use a video there.
Yeah.
And we have a Chrome extension. You can pop a DM right there. You can text the video. But I agree with you. This interruption marketing, you're not getting me with that, right? I'm not answering. One, I get too many spam calls. All I'm trying to do is find the better software that keeps you from getting to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think that paradigm's changing. And we use for our prospecting, it's LinkedIn, social media. We use email still. Email is still the predominant leader in that. I think for what you're doing though, I love the social element of that, like creating a group, a community, where we have a saying that Steve leads in our marketing department: be of value and abundance will follow. Yeah. I love that. And so many times though, we're not of value. We are simply trying to get you to do something that I want you to do. It's what's in it for me, not what's in it for you.
Yeah.
We wrote a book this year called Human-Centered Communication. And its premise is the idea that your communication should lead with what's in it for the recipient, not what's in it for the sender. And dude, as soon as I get off this call with you, if I go to my inbox or LinkedIn, it's going to be full of what's in it for the sender, not what's in it for me as a recipient. I think that the pandemic, it was like nuclear proliferation of digital crap everywhere. We call it digital pollution, right? Like it got insane. It just more and more and more because we couldn't be any more in person. So we just escalated the amount of stuff we were throwing at everybody. And we got to find a way back to being more personal, more one-to-one, more focused on the value proposition we give to someone and offer it to them, solve a problem. In real estate, it's easy. Yeah. Lots of problems to solve. Like what's my equity? I should be buying, I should be downsizing, know who your people are and solve that problem for them.
Yeah. And if you're listening to this podcast, you're obviously very familiar with Lab Coat Agents, and you know that the guy who's best, I would argue, best known for just coming from a place of value and just sharing all the time is Tristan. I mean, he's the godfather of it. I mean, he's the nicest guy in the world. I've never seen him.
He's the give it all away guy.
Yeah, he's amazing, right? He's amazing, and there's a reason why he's grown as he's grown because of that mindset. And I love that you said that. But I want to talk a little bit more tactical. So, it's this kind of big picture mindset, video centric. But let's talk a little bit more about, why the listener needs this in their business. And, the first things first is that one-to-one communication, eliminating typing an email or adding it to it. You don't have to eliminate the typed email, but put the video on top of it and then reference it and say, check this out. But I will tell you, Darren, and I'm sure you've heard this before, I have countless success stories from my people that have said, borrower called me back, said, I'm going with you because of your video. It helped me understand what you were describing. I could sense your emotion. I could sense your excitement for us. I just got a good feeling, a connection to you. I'm going with you. And we have countless success stories. But talk a little bit about that. And, from your guys' perspective, why that is just so critically important for a real estate agent.
Look, I think you just summed it up. We're going to retread a bit, but if I got that from you and I get what from someone else, like, look, you get the same question every freaking day, or you get 9 of the same questions from 10 different people every day. Yeah. Well, how much money do I need to put down in your case? Or how does this work? I'm building a house. I don't know how this works. What about a jumbo? Or there's all these questions in real estate. You get them too. It's the same freaking question. Yep. I think it's the customer experience you're delivering. You've got to be different than the person next door because they might have the same offer, but the way they feel like you're going to deliver for them changes when they experience you that way. Okay. So I like to give this little example. If I have two companies, company A and company B, they both sell the exact same product. They both cost pretty much the same. Everything's predominantly the same. How do you decide which one? You've talked to both of these people. How do you decide which company to go with? Let's say it's a landscaper. They're offering the same service, the same materials, the same cost. How do you decide if they're very much the same, which one to go with? What do you think?
You're asking me to answer this question?
I'm asking you. Yep.
Well, I mean, I think it's usually going to come down to the feels. I think if everything's the same, it's going to be the relationship or who gave me that warm and fuzzy. I think that's
right.
The answer to the question.
I think humans make decisions if all things are the same. Look, I get that different companies have different value propositions to the consumer, but at the end of the day, from a consumer's perspective, a lot of the times you feel and look kind of the same, right? And so,
especially in the real estate industry, mortgage, we're selling the same widget essentially.
Mm-hmm. So what I got to do is make a decision based on feel. Mm-hmm. You hit the nail on the head. Like, that's it. Even the landscapers, they're basically the same. Which one? The one I feel like is going to actually do the job. How do I feel anything as a human being? By the interactions I have with the other human being. Okay. Yeah. So in your example, even if the other person gave me a text dissertation is what that would have to be, by the way, and how that all works. Or same thing in real estate, how to buy a home, how to do an inspection, all these steps, the journey of your buyer or your seller, they all need to be mapped out. And so what we always coach is build an evergreen video that answers that question and have it ready to go. And yep, there's that question for the 10,000th time. Yeah. And you just go click, click, and it goes, hey, that's a great question. Thanks for asking it. We get that a lot. Now, what I like to do is just walk you through step by step by step. And now this is going to take a little bit, but at the end of the video, I think you're really going to understand what we're talking about. Now, Jeff, I didn't say your name. I didn't.
Yeah.
Right. And I can use that video again and again, but that customer experience I just delivered to you is 10x what the others would do.
Correct. Yeah.
Right. It's just not the same because now so even if they're all the same, I'm like, well, I really like Jeff because that video, I can see why they say it. Because they like humans. Yeah. We've been doing this interaction for millennia, since the dawn of time, this whole text thing, that's freaking new, man. It's like.
Well, and by the way, you can text too. So talk a little bit about the functionality. Because I want to get to screen sharing next, because that's a component that's so powerful. But talk about, the fact that it's not just email, it's also through text. So talk a little bit about just the functionality of
this is the reason why, if you're sitting there going, well, I can just text this video from my phone right now. Look, you can, but if I'm an Android user, that recipient experience is different. If I am, even if it's face or iPhone to iPhone, whatever, what BombBomb does is equalizes that recipient experience. We focus more on the recipient experience than we do on the sender than you, our user, because I want that to be something they get used to being a certain way. So we make it fast to send video and easy. And then we educate you into who to send it to and why. That's the difference between BombBomb. There's a lot. Look, we used to be the only kid in the block. Now we're not. There's competitors for this, but our guidance to success is a core competency, and speed to video is a core competency. So we want to help you understand like this psychology. We've written 2 books on it, because why you send it, who you should send it to, and what you should say. That's what we offer you. And then easy sending and all these different platforms. And that's what you're asking. So I make it easy for you to send it in social media. So LinkedIn, Facebook, whatever, anything you can send a text message in, you can use BombBomb to send a video message in, including your phone. So you can download our app, create a quick text message, and deliver a video message. And then you get the functionality that you can track it. They opened it, if they didn't, how long they played it. The intel is half the battle. So if I'm working on 50 different people that I want to work for, and I see that, how am I going to spend my time today? The ones that didn't open it, or the ones that opened it? I'm going to spend my time with the ones that opened it. They're the most interested in what I'm communicating, right? So BombBomb gives you that intel so you can action on your best activities so you can have the best success in the business you're trying to move forward.
I love that. You mentioned the tracking. So, and I think that's really important to talk about, especially if you are in a position of maybe recruiting, or know that this message needs to be received by the buyer or seller or borrower because it's time sensitive. And so being able to see whether or not they opened it and watched it, that's critical. How does that work?
So in any environment that you're sending, we give you the ability to track. So, if I'm in Gmail, we have a Gmail interface I can look at. I did it 8 times today, saying some key communications out to some decision makers that we're doing partnerships, wherever we're dealing with. I want to know if they got it. I want to know if they watched it. So I can see in real time, I get notification on my phone and in Gmail, or you could do it in Outlook, that activity is happening. So they click the link, they open the video. So I did some Zoom calls this morning. I sent the Zoom information out, right? I knew they opened the email. I knew they clicked the Zoom link, and I knew they're about to show up in Zoom, right? So you can have all this intel, this visibility. It just makes you more informed about, again, who's interested, who's really engaged. I think that's it. The reason you send the emails, the reason you send videos is for engagement. Mm-hmm. It's for the reaction, the reply. And that's why I say we spend so much time thinking about you and your recipient, because we know what you want is the engagement, the reply. That's what you want. That's what you're trying to do. You're using video to get more of that than you think you would if you just sent a text email. Yeah. So what we're trying to always do is deliver on that value proposition to you that in many different ways. So in BombBomb, you can simply like the video, right? The recipient just go, I like this. Hey, at least you know that that's a positive interaction. You can comment on it. We now give you the full transcription of the video for them to see so they can read along. So maybe they're in a meeting and they can't watch the video, but they can read the transcription. Our whole point, that's human-centered communication to us. We want it to be a better experience for your recipient and the communication you're delivering so that you can give them a better customer experience than your competitor.
Agreed. Yeah. And do you have, before we get to a couple other topics, do you know the statistics on how many are using video? And I know this is a very loose statistic, but maybe at a consistent level, I believe I always hear stats. It's like 10% or less. It's like, there's still a ton of opportunity in video.
Yeah. If you're sitting there thinking, oh, everybody's already doing this. No, it's still not the year of video. If you can get over yourself and how you look and how you sound, how you feel, you have a massive opportunity to accelerate your business. There's no better time than right now to build that. What's the book going to look like in June? How early is business going to start for you? It's a competitive market. There are not a lot of houses to buy. Yeah. I just saw one of our good customers up here in Denver, 15 houses in Highlands Ranch, Colorado are for sale. 15. And 100,000 people live there. You have got to change what you're doing. You will not win if you do not go after it. Again, your business is based on repeat and referral and relationships. What are you going to change to build those back better this year than you ever have? Because we're not going to be able to build houses fast enough, right? You're not, to be able to outwin that. So you got to compete against the market, which is your peer competitor group.
So let's talk about again, I mentioned screen sharing. So I want to bring that up. And there's a couple of reasons why we love it and why I recommend it. Because first of all, the technology in and of itself is advanced. So you can share your screen and you can be in a little bubble so they still can see you while you're walking them through something. So for us in mortgage, if you're in the mortgage industry and you're not using BombBomb to go through an LE or a CD with a customer, you are being insanely inefficient. Like, it is saving you so much time and putting you out ahead and positioning yourself as an authority. But think about doing it as a realtor. Every time you have another addendum to a contract, you have a contract. It's a lot of legal jargon. Send an email with a BombBomb screen share, walking them through it. This is what this is. This is what you can expect from this. You can ignore this. This is what it means. I need you to pay attention to this, blah, blah. Like, because the reality is we're not meeting with all of these people face to face. And even if you are, you're now making the meeting face to face a lot more efficient because they already have a heads up about what they're about ready to expect. So,
that's just good business. It's efficient work ahead of time. You're saving, look, send me as the buyer seller, the CMA or whatever it might be, the pre-work before we meet.
Yeah.
I will review it. Thank you, dude. I would be floored. Look, that's just a great way to work. I'm looking, like, my time is my most precious element. I know it is yours. So
Yeah.
save me time. Show me why you're more proficient at this. Send me the CMA before the listing presentation on what the market looks like. You're going to look like you are the best customer or best person for me to work with, bar none. Like, it's you, the bar is low. I think it is, unfortunately. Okay. There's a lot of people that get in this business that just shouldn't.
Yeah.
They think it's an easy path to money, and both, right?
Yeah.
In your business and,
Yeah.
and as an agent, I think it's an easy path to money. It's not. You got to work, you got to hustle, but it's, unfortunately, it's easy to stand out from the crowd sometimes. If we simply just create a little pre-work, do some due diligence, make my life easy, walk me through. Again, BombBomb has always helped people who have a complex thing that they sell. And you have one, and you're talking about this exactly, like, walk me through this complex document that I only look at 5 times in my life,
right?
At the high end, right? Like, that'd be a lot of transactions for one person, I think. And so I'm not familiar, but you're the expert. And it's one of the easiest ways to show your expertise and walk them through the document with a screen share, do a CMA, and show them the different neighborhoods that we could be buying in. You can afford here, you can afford here. This is a little bit too high for you. Walk them through that, show them, explain it, and visualize it. We're also visual learners as humans, right? It's very helpful. We learn better when we hear and see at the same time. And so when you do that and you walk them through, you get that visual representation, and that retention of that information is much higher.
Yeah. I love that. And another thing I'll mention to it too, is that I feel like as humans, we're starting to become more accustomed to identifying when it's an automated message versus when it isn't. We used to not be able to figure that out. Now we can. And I'll tell you what you can't do automated. You can't send a personal message to Darren and write their name on a whiteboard and make that automated. You can't do it. And so I think that even though a lot of what you just described, which, like you just said, you just mentioned a CMA, I think a lot of agents have that on automation. And so again, if you are one of those real estate professionals who is not at the pinnacle, that you're so busy that you're almost turning business away and you need to be hiring more people, which is probably most of you that would fall into the category of not there, you have the extra 2 minutes to add a video to the CMA that you described to this potential customer, seller, buyer, whatever, that is going to 1,000,000% differentiate you. Man, I sometimes forget how passionate I am about this until we get into these conversations.
That CMA thing, our friend Michael Thorney does it all the time. It's just, he loves the CMA application because you get just such an opportunity to stand out from the rest. Yeah. Just easy. Do a little pre-work, give them a taste of what it's like to work with you, and recruiting too. If you're recruiting someone, the whole idea is to give them an idea of what it's like to work for you. Yes. So send them what you would send other people, coach them up. Yeah. Give them the advice you just gave the other people you gave advice to today. It feels. Yeah. It feels. Yeah. We decide who we work with as humans for the most part based on know, like, and trust. Yeah. That's it. I like you. Yeah. I feel like I can trust you. I feel like you're going to deliver on what you say you're going to deliver on. I make that based on my intuition as a human. These are human things. We can only rely on software and technology and AI to do that so much, because you're right. Our BS filter goes, whoop, like, no, they just, my name just, we have a video coming out of a movie called Hey First Name. Because it's this idea that we're on to you. We know that you have inundated us so much with stuff that even if it says Darren Dawson, I don't believe you. Like that's real. And not only do you not believe that wasn't mass sent, but you don't even believe a human sent it anymore, right? Yeah. Because now the bot just does that. Yeah. It used to be, I felt a reciprocity that if you sent me an email, I would have to somehow even be like, I'm not interested or something. Now I just go click, shift, delete. Yeah. I don't even think humans are doing that. I think robots are. Yeah. So my reciprocity for a robot is 0. My reciprocity for a human who created this message for me, who is interacting with me face to face, saying my name, your brain goes, you gotta kind of reply to that.
Yeah. A bot and a robot cannot do that. And I wanted to add, another concept behind, to a strategy, to a real estate agent or a loan officer, is like every single time you meet someone, assuming you have their email, or you should get it. You go to a networking event, you meet a realtor for the first time, you just were made a connection to someone, you should jump in your email, send them a video message or a text, and just say, hey, it was great meeting you. Think of how much you are remembered when you do that. And even if they don't reply, they're tickled. Like it means something to them. Because what is the stat? 90% of home buyers would use their agent again, but only 13% do.
It's because they never hear from them again.
That's it. And they're not remembered.
That's right.
Or you put them into a CRM and you send them these canned emails that they've deleted because it's a nuisance to them.
It's just not valuable.
Yeah.
Like, how are we bringing value, right? I mean, I love that concept, Jeff. I mean, we do it all the time at BombBomb. I'm like, if I meet you, you're getting a video email from me and saying, it's good to meet you.
Yeah.
It's a pleasure to meet you. These are human decency things that are just better if you're able to do that and as personal as possible. Yeah. So if you're writing handwritten notes, you should do that. Keep doing that. But then maybe add to that a personal note through video. I think gratitude, I know we got to wrap up, but this is easy. I think right now, if you're swimming, like this is too much, I'm gonna give you simple. This is the simplest. It's the gratitude video. All you got to do is say, thank you. Thank you for whatever. Thank you for meeting with me. Thank you for your business this past year. Thanks for being such a great partner of mine. All those referrals you've been saying, I really appreciate that. Hope you're great. Be a person, be a human being.
Yeah.
Say thank you, just like you would to anyone else. It's common decency. Start there, get a free trial. It's free. Get 14 days to see if me and Jeff are full of crap, and then send personal thank you videos.
Yeah.
Get like 10 people. Here's the deal. Here's what's going to happen. They're going to love it. And they're going to get a feeling from that, like endorphins, the recipient is, and they're going to go, thank you for that video. And then you're going to feel great. You're going to get endorphins going, just like exercise. When I exercise, I feel great when I do it. I never want to do it, but I feel great when I do it. That's what it's like. You're going to get this feeling back from the recipient guy because you made their day. Your day will get made from having sent them, and their day will get made from having gotten them.
Yep.
That's my challenge. Like just start by saying thank you to these people that you work with, that you're interacting with, maybe an employee, someone that works for you on your team. If you're a broker listening or a team leader, they need to hear from you. They're not seeing you as much. Send a personal thank you for your hard work. Thank you for always being so on top of things. It goes a long way.
I love that. And just to add one more to that is happy birthdays. The 2017, I spent an entire year just sending happy birthday videos to everyone in my SOI, past customers, realtors, like just close enough people, right? Close enough. But
yeah,
I became known as the video guy. I still have people. In fact, I posted one to the BombBomb Facebook group from one of my loan officers that said, that still sticks with me. That was 5 years ago. Now, when I don't get a birthday video from you, I'm kind of disappointed. Like it sticks with me. And it's like, wow. Like
we have this one woman, Laura Anderson, all she's ever done is send happy birthday on her ukulele. She plays a ukulele, happy birthday song, personalized to you.
Yeah.
And here come the referrals.
Yeah.
Laura is their person, right?
That's amazing. We didn't mention the 3-second loop, using a whiteboard. You know, that's another component to the technology that you can try to work around a BombBomb type platform, and you can, but you're not going to get all of these elements. And this is why I'm such a big advocate for it.
For the price point, it's just not worth it.
No,
like it's not expensive. It's like $500 a year all in on the high end. So it's not a lot compared to what you can receive from a benefit if you are consistent. Like the key to all marketing is relevance and consistency. Yes. Timely, relevant, consistent. That's marketing, folks. That's it. So if you can achieve those three things, and for you and your business, it has to be relevant, timely, consistent with these group of people that are going to give you more business. They've worked with you in the past, or your friends. Keep in touch with them. Let them see your face. Remind them that you're a real person who cares about them, and it's reciprocal, right? It's a big deal, and it's easy to do. Just got to be consistent with it.
100%. Darren, how can people reach out to you? How can they connect with you if they want to connect with you?
I'm easy to find on LinkedIn. It's just Darin Dawson, LinkedIn, DARIN, DAW, or Darin BombBomb. I'm easy to find. That's the easiest way. I always say, love to connect with everyone. If you send me a personal, only thing I ask is don't send me a generic. You don't have to send me a video if you want to connect. send me a personal note. Hey, I loved you on the Lab Coat Agents podcast. It was great. What you said. Love to connect with folks. It's a lot of fun for me. So I'm pretty easy to connect and transparent and accessible.
I love it. Where do they go to sign up if they're like, you know what, this is what put me over the edge?
BombBomb.com. BombBomb.com all day, every day. Been there for now since long time. And so
and now you know the story about why the name is there.
Now you know the story. Yeah, that's a little piece of the why.
Very last thing. You have 2 books you mentioned. What are the names of the books if they want to go find them?
Yep. So this is the latest one from Ethan and Steve, Human-Centered Communication. The first one was called Rehumanize Your Business.
Yep.
So, Rehumanize, very tactical in its approach. Like this is when, why, how, and we call it Rehumanize Your Business because that's what we want to do. We want to put you back face to face with more people more often. Human-Centered Communication, I kind of talked about how value the sender or the recipient more than the sender. What you're sending should be more valuable to them than it is to you. So am I asking for something I want, or am I giving them something they need? That's a big premise. And we talk about that. And there's 12 different authors in that book, kind of walking from their perspective. We got psychologists, we got PhDs, we got folks from all levels of business. It's a great book.
Yeah, I love it. At the last Rehumanize, I actually was one of the recipients. It was underneath my chair and I won like a bunch of books. And I remember I gave them away. Funny story how that worked. I actually sent Ethan a BombBomb video saying, thank you. I didn't need to win that, but that was awesome. And it was good. It was good.
Awesome.
Well, Darren, this has been great, man. It's been fun connecting. It's amazing how an hour just shot by. We can talk about this all day, all night. You guys need to have another Humanize.
It's happening.
We need to connect and I look forward to staying in touch, man. It was great to connect with you.
You too. Thanks a lot.
Lab Coat Agents Podcast.